He couldn't believe it. Being featured on SportsCenter was the biggest dream of any athlete, and he actually accomplished that. And he carried that momentum into the next game. He was entering the final stretch of his high school career, which meant that his time to catch Ole Miss attention was running out. So Jaxon was about to throw everything at the wall, not only to get Ole Miss attention, but to show every college that they didn't just send an offer to another player. They sent an offer to the very best player who will one day step on the biggest stage. And that's exactly what he came to do in this game. With only 2 games left in the season, Jaxon came out red hot, picking up back-to-back first downs to start the game. He found his rhythm early. With all the success he was having, he felt like he couldn't be touched until he got in between one of his offensive linemen and one of the defender, forcing him to throw a low pass. But at this point, Jaxon was used to it. Whenever something went wrong, he always responded with a touchdown, and he put the Renegades on the board, tying the game and hoping that the defense would come up with something to stop the Broncos' offense. And they did. Surprisingly, they kept the game tied, but what surprised everyone that night was seeing Jaxon take off from the pocket, scrambling for the first down, and then doing it again for a touchdown. The rest of the game should have went smoothly, but the defense started slipping. They led the Renegades, suffering for their first loss of the season, but it was okay because even with the loss, Jaxon's stock continued to rise as more colleges reached out with scholarship offers. Still, Jaxon hasn't heard anything from the Ole Miss Rebels. I mean, at least the coach from Colorado reached out, but it was just to let Jaxon know that they weren't looking for a QB1 right now. But Jaxon didn't care. He already had plenty of offers to choose from, and Colorado wasn't his first choice anyway. So he shrugged it off and told the coach he understood. Now it all came down to the final game of the season, and there was still no offers from Ole Miss. Jaxon started getting nervous. What if I don't get offered to Ole Miss? I can't let my father down. This was it. His last chance, the final game of his high school career before graduation. Everything was on the line. In the end, the Renegades kicking team nailed the game-winning field goal to close out the regular season. A couple of weeks later, Jaxon graduated. He had until the end of the month to decide which school he was going to commit to. All that hard work, and still no offer from Ole Miss? Were they not impressed with the way I played? Did I let my dad down? Then, his phone began to ring. Alright, Jaxon, this is the head coach of Ole Miss. We've seen your performance through this whole season, and I got to say, we're very impressed. Now, I can't guarantee the top spot for you on this squad because there's plenty of guys ahead of you. But the least I can do is give you an offer to be an Ole Miss Rebel. He finally did it. He finally caught the attention of the Ole Miss Rebels. And now all he has to do is make his decision on what college he's gonna commit to.